everyone, Matty here from the Matt's channel, here to look back on my predictions with you from the start of the tournament. And without further ado, let's get into it. First group, of course, majority of people expected Italy to make it to the top, but after that it was competitive. Because I managed to get second to fourth wrong, which have had Switzerland, Turkey, then Wales, when it was actually Wales, Switzerland, Turkey. Turkey, of course, weren't as good as most people thought they'd be. Wales, even though most people expected them to be good, I think the general consensus was that they weren't quite as good as the other two, and they had quite a lot of championship players in their squad, but they pulled through. They got second. The result difference against Turkey and Italy was a factor, and for Switzerland it just wasn't enough, but they got through in the end. But there's only one correct prediction there. Second group, we got Belgium, Denmark, Finland, then Russia, which I said Russia would finish third, but it did not turn out to be, as Finland finished above. Now, it was a game Denmark needed to win. They didn't. They did quite heavily, which meant Russia tanked down to fourth place and right out. I think what it just showed was Russia needed a bigger win against Finland. They didn't get that, and as a result, they suffered as a consequence. For Belgium, I think even though Russia or Denmark might have caused them some problems, Denmark did. I think 9 points was inevitable, especially given that they probably would have rested players, well, not as much as, but nonetheless, they looked like they were set to all 9 points. So 2 correct there. And up next we got Group C, where I believed that Netherlands wouldn't have, like it with Italy. I said Netherlands would probably have topped, but not got all 9 points, but they did, as did Italy. And I was also correct about North Macedonia finishing bottom without a win. However, I got the Austria-Ukraine prediction wrong. I'd said Ukraine would finish above Austria, and they just needed a draw to give me all 4 correct predictions, but it was just not to be. Maybe Ukraine aren't as good as I had anticipated them to be. And up next we go to Group D, where I've got all 4 correct teams in their positions. Not all the results were the same as I'd predicted, but I had England on 7 points at top, Scotland bottom with 1 point. Croatia, I think, even though they didn't get 2 wins, they still got second, and Czech Republic hung in there and they got through as well. Not that I predicted them to do that, but Group D was my strongest in terms of my predictions, and I'm happy with that. Now, going from my best to my worst, Group E, as I've got all of them incorrect in terms of order. I said Spain would finish first, they finished second. Sweden to finish second, they ended up finishing first. And Poland, not a single win, finishing bottom. And while Slovakia, who I thought they'd be the 1 point team, they ended up getting third. So that big defeat to Spain was a huge factor of them not going through. What a end of the group this turned out, especially in the Sweden-Poland game. It was end-to-end stuff until in that second half it got end-to-end after Forsberg made it 2-0, and then when Klaassen made it 3-2 to confirm Sweden topping the group, then things changed. Look at that compared to my predictions. Also, Group F, got half of them right. France, correct. Hungary, correct. Portugal, Germany, wrong order by head to head. Ultimately, that was the difference in my predictions. And this also had a great last day action. France versus Portugal, Germany and Hungary. Where Hungary had even got, in fact, all the teams were in second place at some point in the timestamps of both matches. All lined up to play England. Many twists and turns occurred, and ultimately it was France in first, Germany in second, Portugal in third, and Hungary in fourth. And now a look over to how my knockout predictions were. I'm not going to go too deep. However, what I can say is I got 7 out of these 16 teams in the correct positions, whilst I'd also said that Ukraine, Austria, Sweden, Spain, Germany, and Switzerland would also get through, with Russia and Turkey being the big misfires of them not even qualifying. So overall, I'd say I'm a bit more happy than dissatisfied with my predictions, although it could have been better. So what were your predictions? How close were you? How far off were you? Let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see. But they were my predictions. And in the meantime, I'll be putting out some more Euros content. But from now, it's a bye from Matty. Goodbye.